So you were mentioning the schools earlier, like Sterling, Jones. You and Screw went to Sterling.
Right. Yeah.
How was it? Were y'all like buddy? Were you cheat off of him, or you say, "Hey, Screw, watch what as I go in here and stuff"? Or how was y'all's relationship?
With Screw?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well Screw's a little younger than me, so I was in 11th grade when he was a freshman. He was a couple of years behind me, so we didn't take any classes or nothing together. If I was cheating off probably one of these smart girls' papers. If I was doing in the class, but no, Screw was just that dude, man, just that cool guy in the school. He was DJing back then. It's 9th grade. I've never known Screw without his name being DJ Screw, and this goes all the way back to 9th grade. So he was in the game at an early age, and he took a liking to me because he was one of the people that would be in those crowds when I was either just spitting rhymes in the hallway or battling somebody. Screw was one of the people in the crowd, and he just came up to me one day, introduced himself. We started chopping up, and we was cool ever since. We was friends ever since, man. So Screw and I took a class. I took home ec with Fat Pat. Though we was in the same home ec.
Yeah, what was it like a sewing or what are you doing home ec? Because I don't know.
It was like that was part of it. But
okay.
Sewing and cooking.
Cooking. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the same, all that stuff included in it. But yeah,
gotcha.
I took that class with Fat Pat. And he was just, just a character, man. Just class clown, always entertaining. And he wasn't even rapping then. He was just, being Pat.
Right.
Pat.
Were y'all in the same grade? Obviously, right? Or not?
Well, no, that was more like a I want to call it.
All the grades come together and mesh.
Yeah. And when in those types of classes, you may get somebody, because I know Pat might have been maybe a grade under me. I'm assuming we might have been the same age, but I think that he was maybe a grade under me. I could be wrong. We didn't come in at the same time, because I know a lot of the people that came 9th grade that came from the same middle school that I was at. Then different people came from other schools, and to my knowledge, I think Pat might have I got to Sterling in 85. He may have came a year later.
Yeah.
So I can't remember though.
And did Pat know you rhymed and everything, or?
Oh yeah. I was established as resident rapper at Sterling. That was
was he ever like, "Hey, K, check this out, Sugar Daddy"? No.
I don't think he cared. Pat wouldn't like that.
He wasn't like that. Okay.
He wasn't fanning out like that. He was doing his own thing. I didn't even know. Like I said, I knew him. I knew Patrick Hawkins, but that's the dude. That I took the class with. But I think Pat might have been. More. He was more in the streets. Probably at that time too. But he was officially, rapping or calling himself a rapper. I didn't find out who Fat Pat was till after I was gone with school. I was out of school, and I think he was too. This was in the early 90s at this point, and I was hearing the name Fat Pat in the streets.
Yeah.
They had a concert. They used to have concerts at this bowling alley in Houston, and they would do just local concerts. And then I came one night right when the show was letting out, and all I seen was this big wave of people coming out, man, like packed, man. It was so packed in that, the heat, it was just hot, the body heat, funk. And
sounds like a club, but yeah.
And I see Pat coming out, and he just dripped in sweat, just got off the stage, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "What's up, Pat?" And so I put two and two together, I'm like, "You Fat Pat?" He's like, yeah. Like, wow. Like, whoa. So I mean, it's just like he became that guy, because I guess all that time, unbeknownst to us, they was at Schoolhouse, making them tapes and doing them flows that they was doing at Schoolhouse. So in the underground was catching on. Now we didn't know that, because we was underground. South Park Coalition was underground, but we already kind of established in the streets. So we were kind of a little bit more above ground than they was, and they had a whole movement that were just being born and developing and blowing up right under our nose. So when I found out, okay, yeah, that's Pat, it was, I was like, cool, that's crazy.
And it's like you, and they, this is 87, but you said 90s, right? Early 90s.
Yeah, this was early 90s when I started seeing who Fat Pat was.
And like 87, it's like you, is Raheem around then?
Right, that's that first wave of Houston rap when you're talking about the first Ghetto Boys, Raheem the Vigilante, his first Ghetto Boys, Jukebox Johnny C, Ready Red Bushwick.
Yeah.
Then like I said, you got Raheem, you got the Def Four, you got Raw Flush.
Raw Flush, yes.
Willie D. Then you got Romeo Poets, you got, on the South Side, you got Southpaw Coalition, and then you got Big Mello and Haim Clark, you got Icy Hot and all those guys. This before Street Military, Icy Hot was still doing this thing. So this was that first wave to come out, or maybe, I guess we could say the second wave, maybe 1A, because the first wave is Wicked Cricket and Jazzie Redd and those guys like that. So, but that next wave after us, like I say,
Jazzie Redd was part of the first wave.
Yeah, Jazzie Redd was OG, man. Yeah, he was right there with Cricket and all. They had a radio show called Kidz Jamm, man, and they would get down every week. Lester Pace and Captain Jack, and Captain Jack was on Kidz Jamm, but he was one of the original.
Jazzie Redd had the song "I Am a Dope Fiend." Okay, yeah. Man, Jazzie Redd.
That came later. See, that came
later. Okay.
But before that, it was a radio station called Kidz Jamm that was on the campus of Texas Southern University, and every Saturday they would play local rap on the show. They would play mainstream rap, and that's how we would get introduced to a lot of the mainstream rap that we didn't know was out. You would hear it first on Kidz Jamm. You would hear Lottie Dottie, Run DMC, and all the new stuff that would come out, you would hear it on Kidz Jamm because King T, who came out later on the West Coast, and he is from Houston. His name was Terry T. He was DJing at the time, and he DJ'd at Kidz Jamm at KTSU. And they just had the Kidz Jamm reunion about a year ago, and King T was there, Jazzie Redd was there, Lester Pace, everybody came out. Everybody came supported because that station gave all of us most of us our first taste of hearing ourselves on radio of any kind. Because of course, the mainstream stations, it was harder to penetrate that. But Kidz Jamm, you could walk in there with your tape that you just made at your homeboy house 2 hours ago. You could walk right in there, and if it didn't have no cussing in it, they'll play it. Put you right up, give you an interview and everything. First interview I ever did on the radio, we was on Kidz. Me and Dopey, we sitting on Kidz Jamm, just like you with the headphones on, just first time ever being on the air.
As COD.
Yeah, as COD. And you leave the station and everybody, I heard you on the radio, It's like, so all of those moments was just us getting our feet wet. That was our first time getting those experiences of interviews and hearing a song on the radio and all that. All that came from Kidz Jamm, but Jazzie, Lester Sir Pace, Wicked Cricket, King T, all those guys, man, they was instrumental in building up a hip hop scene in our city.
Nice. And with you and Dope E going in there and everything like that, and Dope E, he's doing some producing for Rap A Lot and stuff. Was there ever like, hey, Dope E, see if you can, let Lil Jay listen to this or anything like that, sort of that nature?
No, because I could have got to Jay myself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've been knowing him since probably about 86, 87, because one of the first things I did, even before I put my own record out, I took a demo to Jay. Yeah, I took a demo to Jay. I don't know how I found out he was going to be at this club But somebody told me he was gonna be, and I went to the club, and it was before the club opened. Club opened by 9, but he was there at like 6:30, 7 p.m. Nobody was in the club. I guess he knew the owner or whatever. But we showed up, and he was in there, and I started talking to him. I gave him my demo. So I always had access to get to Jay if I wanted to. Now, after that time, with nothing happening when I first handed him my tape, some years passed. Now, by that time, me and my dad doing our thing. So at that time, I didn't even have like a desire to try to go on another label. By the end, I was like, I'm trying to actually see if I could duplicate what he's doing. And so that was the goal after that. But, when Nip and Dope signed with Rap A Lot, we was like, hey, man, do what you got to do. That gave all of us, it obviously gave Nip and Dope the platform to be worldwide now, which none of us had experienced, but they featured us on their records because it was family. They were like, man, y'all come, and they didn't have to do that, and Nip put us on his record, Dope put us on his record. So now our names are worldwide. So now that's how people in Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, that's how they heard us for the first time as features on Ganksta N.I.P and Dopey and the Terrorist album. Yeah. Shout out to Egypt. Yeah.
Egypt B.
Yeah.
Another nice guy.
Yeah. No doubt.
I heard you from a homeboy though. He's like, K-Rino is the truth. I'm like, I don't know, but okay. Danger Zone. I bought that. I was like, my favorite song, Illusion. Is Rapper K at the beginning of that?
Yeah, that's him.
I thought it was.
The beginning and the end, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't mistake his voice.
You can't.
He sound like Rodney O.
I don't know who that is.
Rodney O. You gotta listen. You remember Everlasting Bass?
Yes.
If you listen to Rodney O.
Oh, you said Rodney O. I got that. Okay, yes.
You listen to Rodney O and listen to Rapper K, they sound just alike. We always.
I'm gonna check that out after this. Yes.
You're gonna get a good laugh off of that.
I'm already getting one. Back to Screw. So, as you know, Al D was mentioning you in the interview. Who's that one guy? I gotta shout him out. Who's that guy that's putting on for Houston? Who's that guy?
Donnie Houston. Yeah.
Donnie Houston. Shout out to Donnie Houston. So he's talking to Donnie Houston about you and Screw, and I guess you were in a heated battle. And you might have talked about someone's mother. And one thing led to another. You and Screw. And Screw had a scar on his lip. Do you remember anything from that day?
I don't remember the specifics of that. I'm not doubting it because the way LD described it, I know how I am, and that is how I rapped, And what was so messed up about me mentally is that I would do that at your school, in your neighborhood, in your apartment complex. I had no sense of awareness of danger. Like I'm in the middle of all his homeboys and his people. I'm focusing on winning this battle, So yeah, that's I don't specifically remember the story, but that's something that I could absolutely see, because I know we had some situations where it didn't go good, because guys got in their feelings, once you start hitting them. And the worst thing that happened, man, and I've done this so many times to where I started getting a thrill out of it. Yeah, because the worst thing as an artist, for your ego is for somebody to come into your area around your people and take your people from you. Have your people saying, nah, that dude beat you. Your partners and all that. And that's what I'd like to do. I got a kick out of that, man, because it also told me, it gave me a gauge of like how good I am. I need to know if I'm pretty good if I could turn total strangers, if I can take total strangers and turn them against their friends, where their friends got to give it up and say, nah, man, you can't beat this guy, So that was one of the reasons. But as time went on and I got older and came to my senses, you realize that ain't the smartest thing to do. You know, I used to catch the bus to people's neighborhood by myself to go battle. And you know, that ain't a wise thing.
But that was your fix though, huh? That was your drug.
Yeah, I didn't think about it on no other level, but I'm just gonna go here and embarrass this dude. Come on, you know what I'm saying? Go to Jack.
Who cares who the guy is? Who cares if he might want to end his? This might be the night.
Yeah, I gotta win. You know, winning is everything.
Winning is everything.
And it also builds your reputation. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, I guess people say it adds on to the mythical, the legend or whatever, because it's like those are the kind of stories that people tell. See, people tell me stories about myself all the time. And they'll tell me the story like it's not even me. And man, I remember when you came and you did this and it was 4 of them, and you know, and I'll be like, yeah, I remember that, you know, because some I do, you know, like, because when your ego is like that and you find out that you're pretty good, you just try to push the limit. So now it's like, you know what? One of y'all ain't really a match for me. How about I just battle all 3 of y'all?
Ooh.
You know, it's all 3 of y'all against me. How about that? You know, that was the arrogance, but it was justified by the work ethic. You know, because I wasn't just a dude that was just like same with Nip. Nip was the same way. But we wasn't just dudes who just talked it to just make ourselves seen. We put the work in behind the scenes to justify having that kind of arrogance. So like, I know, I've never even heard you in my life. I know nothing about you, but I don't know anything about your intelligence level, your skill level, but all I do know is you would not be able to be better than me, because I know what I do. So that's what the mindset was. I don't care how good you support. I don't care how good Lil JoJo said you was. I don't care how good your mama, she was clapping and proud of you. You losing today. I'm taking your O. If you got an undefeated, I'm taking your O with me when I leave.
And handing you an L.
Now you have a 1. That's right. That's right.
Ugh.